Okay, so we have already installed our Tableau software into our computer. So now let us start talking about our project. Okay, so this is our project. So basically, you are instructed to use a Tableau software, right? So you need to install a Tableau software. So we already did it. And then in order to complete the visualizations, you have to bring this Excel file into Tableau, and then you need to show the visualizations. Okay. So after that, you need to answer these questions. Up to this one, you will just get your answer will be based on the textbooks, okay, or based on your research. Okay. This one's very simple to write it. But the most important one is actually this part. Okay. So in this section, you need to show the data visualizations. Okay. So how can you show the data visualizations? I'll show you step by step. For example, in the first case, we have been asked to import the Excel software into Tableau. And then we need to choose the worksheet like the customer location, the sales office location, and the customer balance. After that, we'll answer these 4 questions. So the first file will be used to answer these 4 questions. And then the second file for invoices, the third file for returns, and the fourth one for allowances. Okay. So since actually the procedure is the same, you are going to do it by yourself for return and allowance, but I'll show you how to actually create visualizations using Tableau for the first and the second. That means for the customer location and for the invoices. Okay, so let us directly dive into the question. So this is just a sample report. You'll write the cover page, you'll answer, you'll write the introduction first, and then you need to obviously explain about the important terms here and about materiality. And after that, you will directly dive into the data visualization parts. Okay. So we have been told that, okay, we need to utilize this Excel data set in order to answer this question. So let us start. So what we are going to do is just come here and then open this one. Okay. So this is a Tableau interface, as I explained before. So let us come to Excel file. So if it is Excel file, you need to click here. If it is a CSV file, you need to upload the text file. So now our file is Excel file. So let us click here. And then this one is our data. Okay, so let us wait. So after this, we have been told that, okay, you are going to analyze the customer balance by location and by sales office, right? So let us bring the customer balance, the customer location, the sales office. Okay. So as you can see here, I connect basically this data set with the sales office, the customer balance with sales office using customer name as a connector. Okay. So if you want to know how the data has been connected, it is actually many to many. Okay. That means many customers will be linked to many sales offices. Okay. So since the data is actually clean, and since this is not an account information system class, you don't need to worry about how to connect it, so on and so forth. But your job is actually a data visualization, just direct data visualization, assuming you have a clean data set, okay? So come to here. So we have actually 3 parts in Tableau. We have the worksheet, okay? We have the dashboard, and then we have the story. So the story and dashboard, we're not going to use it for the subject, but for account information system, we're going to use this one. So let us create actually our first visualization, which is the sheet, okay? So come here. And then we have been asked, let us come back here. So we have been asked to show the customer balance by customer city and country, okay? So let us first show by city. Yes, so let us rename this one. Okay, so as you can see here, the name has already changed, okay? The name of the sheet or the title of my visualization. So after this, I have been asked to show the visualization using the customer, using city and country. So as I mentioned before, let us show the customer balance by city. So in order to do that, let us bring the customer location, okay, customer country and city, okay, and then the customer balance, not the count, the balance amount, okay. So, but you can use obviously the bar graph, but I prefer to use the most interesting and beautiful feature, which is this one, the symbol map, okay. So as you can see here, this one is by country. So in order to show by city, just click here. So now it is by city. For example, here Milan, Italy, right? So for example, Mumbai, India, right? So this is actually our, my visualization. So in order to change, if you want to change, for example, the color of this one, what you are going to do is come to customer balance and then just drag and click on color, okay? Okay, so what you are going to do is just click on here. I don't need this one, okay? Hide. And then if you want to change the color, you'll come here, edit color. So for example, I prefer a green color, okay? And then if you want to change the numbers, you can change the numbers, but I think 5 is okay. Maybe you can make it 7, for example, but I think 5 is okay. So as you can see here, the color has been changed. I prefer actually green because it is related to sales. And then if you want to change the size of the balls, come to size and then increase, okay? So it should not be too large or too small. I think this one is good enough. So yeah, voila. So the first visualization is done, okay? So now let us create actually, the first one is by city, we have already completed. Now let us show actually by country, okay? So how can you show that? So right click here and then duplicate in order to make your life easier. So rename this one. This one is by customer country, okay, not by city, country. And then I will come here, okay? So this one is by city, right? Just remove this one. Okay, so by country, this is actually US dominates actually by country, about 78 million sales. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use the bubbles, this one, okay, okay. So as you can see here, USA dominates, then India, Germany, China follows, like Japan, okay. So the second visualization is done, okay, the customer balance by country. So the next one is we need to show the intersection between customer city and the sales office, okay. Now, in order to show that, I will come here and new sheet, and then let us rename this one as customer city and sales office, okay? And then after this, what I'm going to do is the customer balance. I will bring the customer balance here, okay? And then let us bring the customer location. Where is that? The customer location, okay, good. Okay. And the sales office city. Obviously, this one should be city, okay? Customer city. Okay, so after I do it, actually, I prefer to use this one because it looks nice and it makes actually a good visualization. So as you can see here, I use actually this one. We call it a tree map. Okay. So as you can see here, for example, there is a customer location, a customer city, and an office location match of Berkeley and San Antonio. Okay. For example, London and Milan. Okay. It gives you actually a nice visualization. For example, Milan is in Italy. London is in UK. So now, as an auditor, you may ask, okay, why this company or client is actually selling for Italy customer through the London sales office. Okay, so because they are in different countries. Okay, so for example, if the two cities are actually in the US, and then that's not really a big problem. For example, they are in the west part, right? Or if they are within the same country, then it's not really a big problem. But if it is totally different, for example, can you see here, Beijing and Hong Kong, they are in China, so it's fine. But if you check, for example, a different one, like Paris and London, they're actually in different cities, so in different countries. So you may ask actually this kind of question. So anyway, this is the first visualization. But after that, if you want to know the detailed distribution of the customer city and sales office distributions, what we are going to do is, again, we are going to visualize another visualization for this one. Okay, so let us duplicate. Okay, but this time I'll choose this one, the bar graph. Okay, so as you can see, we created the first customer city sales office, and then this one's the bar graph. Okay, for the same analysis. The reason is that this one will give me actually detailed analysis. This one is just include only the big ones. Okay, so as you can see here, by the way, this one is two. That means for the same analysis, I have two visualizations. Okay, the reason is that I want to get actually more detailed visualization as an auditor so that I can detect the detailed issues. Okay, now for example here, for example, we have Hong Kong and then we have Honai, right? So they are in two different countries. So the sales office is in Hong Kong, but in a different country. Honai is actually in a different country, or Tainan or Taipei is actually in a different country. Taipei is, I think, in Vietnam. No, sorry, in Taiwan. And then Hong Kong is actually a different special administrative region. Okay, so you need to ask actually, there is actually a small sales. Okay, and the sales office and the customer city is in a different location. So why there are these kinds of infrequent sales? Is it really a fake sale or a real sale? So you need to raise this kind of question to your clients. Okay, the same thing here. As you can see, London and Dubai, for example. Dubai is a small one, right? So they are in different countries, and you need to ask, for example, oh, actually the Dubai sales is a small amount, and they are selling actually through the London office, right? The London sales office. So is it really a fake one or real one? So it will give you actually detailed explanation about these kinds of anomalies. Okay, so we are done for this one. Okay, we are done for this one, and then the next one is we need to visualize the customer balance by the sales office. Okay, so let us come here. So by sales office, what is that? Sales office city. Okay, maybe you can bring it here, and the customer balance. Okay, now I prefer actually this bubble. Okay, so as you can see here, the Berkeley, the London, the Toronto, they dominated. Okay, they dominated. So let us rename this one. It is a customer balance by sales office. Let me just by sales office, right? Good. So we are done for this one. Okay. So the last one for the first part is actually we need to visualize the customer balance by customer. Okay. The customer balance by customer. So what we are going to do is I will come here. I will create a new sheet. So let us rename this one customer balance. Okay. By customer name. Okay. So let us bring a customer name here, include everything. And then we need to know actually the customer balance. Okay. So the customer balance here. Okay. But for this one, I prefer to choose actually this one. Okay. So this one actually gives me a clear visualization for each customer because we have actually like thousands of customers, right? So it is preferred to use actually this one. We call it as a highlight table. Okay. So the reason is that if I go back to your guideline, so when I ask my customer, I give you some hints here. Oh, actually, if there is a customer, okay, whose invoice is actually greater than 400,000, give attention to this customer because they are large customers, okay? They are actually large customers. So what I'm going to do is, as you can see here, Andres, oh, actually his sales balance is actually more than 400,000, so I need to give attention. And for this guy as well, something like this, okay? So this is a very beautiful visualization, okay? Good. Okay, so we are done actually for the first part. So let me show you the second part, and then we'll finish our discussion. Okay.